So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of Made a Mistake podcast. As always, I'm your host for today, Cyrus, and we're here with Solo. Say hi, Solo. And Casey.
Yep.
Say hi, Casey. Today, we're going to start out by talking a little bit about our personal selves, let you guys get to know that we are people just like you behind these computers. We have lives and we do get out sometimes.
Not much.
Not much.
Not often.
So,
just in case that you thought we had like alternate virtual reality going on here, we're real people.
yeah, we're actually sentient AI programs right now. Don't tell anyone. But no, we're gonna go ahead and start off today. Solo actually had a pretty interesting experience at work the other day. Why don't you tell us about that, Solo?
Oh, so this was kind of strange. I first got an email from an individual to place over 1,000 blank shirts for order.
You should explain
To
what your
be
business is. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. So okay. So I work in an embroidery business, and we mainly do embroidery for like clothes or any kind of really items, backpacks, and all that stuff. And sometimes though we will place orders for shirts when people don't want to get their own shirts, so they'll ask us to place an order, and we have vendors. So I got a contact over email for placing over 1,000 blank shirts, and so they said no embroidery, no screen printing or anything, which is kind of strange. But I'm like, oh, okay, well that's kind of easy money-ish. And then they said that they only wanted to be delivered by UPS to a residential address, which I found weird because usually normal people don't place an order for over 1,000 shirts for non-business.
Oh.
But I thought, maybe he's having it sent home, and so that just that no one picks it up if it's like during a business day or if they're not open yet or something. Sure, why not? Because he was placing such a high amount, I gave him a form that we have for anyone who is like a wholesale retailer. Basically, it'll give them wholesale price, no tax. And then he denied it. It's kind of a flag right there. So that means it's pretty much not for a business. Then he asked what info was needed for his credit card. So I was like, okay, that's also kind of weird, but I told him it's just, the normal stuff. And then he called, his name from his email is Billy. He called, he had a really heavy African accent.
another
And I
red,
was just, okay, this is kind of weird.
another red
was that-
flag is that no adult calls himself
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I was just like, okay, this is getting really weird now. It's getting a lot weirder. He kept interrupting as I was asking him questions and explaining. And then this is the biggest red flag in my opinion. He asked what credit card system we use to process credit cards. I'm like, no one ever asked that. Why would you ask that?
No.
What's the big deal between that? And so I told him Square and PayPal. And then he was just like, do you only use those two? Yeah. And he's like, you don't use any other ones? I'm like, no, why? And I'm thinking in my head, why are you so persistent on this? He goes, okay, can you send me an invoice? I'm like, yeah, I guess I can. Did you want it sent to your, the email that you were talking to me to? And he says, yeah. So I sent it to him. Now, there's so many red flags going on that I checked the address that he gave me, and it's a Mexican grocery store. So I'm just like, okay, this is way weird now. So he calls back, said that he's paid, and I checked, he did indeed pay. And he asked, when I can give him like tracking on this. It seems really like he didn't understand this whole ordering system. So because I was so suspicious, I didn't place the order for him right away. Because I was just like, maybe I should wait, see whether it goes through, etc., etc. 10 minutes later, I get a call, and I get actually multiple back-to-back calls. I was helping a customer, but I was getting back-to-back calls. And there was a voice message, but I actually talked to one person, like the fifth call or something like that. And it was saying, we just got a notification for a credit card transaction for over $4,400, dollars from your company. We don't even live in California, which is where I live, and I was telling him, like, yeah, someone placed an order under your account or with the card, saying that it was going to be an order for New Jersey and et cetera, et cetera. And they were just like, well, we're gonna cancel it, and we already contacting local authorities and all that. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll give you all the information that you need. But basically, it was credit card fraud, like caught right away.
Do you have like a number to call if like anybody like in that scenario, like you think this is suspicious, even if you didn't get a call from the credit card company? Was there one like you could call, like, hey, I think this might be suspicious, can you guys check the authenticity of this order?
No, there really isn't anything to call. Yeah, I mean, if they already have all the information, then
Yeah, I suppose that's for the credit card companies more.
Yeah, it's really more for the credit card company. Yeah. So from what I can tell, the transaction did go through. I'm not sure how the cancellation works. They might, obviously just send the funds back. But in my experience, because I've had fraud happen personally when I tried to sell an iPad Mini 2, usually when someone says, "Oh, this is an authorized purchase," you also get hit with the chargeback fee. The person that made the sale, not the person that authorized the sale, which kind of sucks because it's not our fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like we know that this is a fraudulent activity, but we get charged for it. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, maybe you stopped a big crime ring of credit card fraud undone by an embroidery shop.
Oh, I did notice that this person had sent an email to another company. So I sent them an email telling them the information about how this is, if you talk to them and they tried to place an order, that it was a fraudulent card that they're using and all that stuff. So, but they never stated anything back.
Well, there you go. Solo, superhero of the week, stopping a potential illegal drug ring or some sort of black market T-shirt scam. Who knows what's going on?
Something.
Congratulations, Solo,
stand for shirts.
Solo, the crime stopper. All right. Now, Casey, just, what was it, yesterday?
Yeah, last
Casey?
night.
Yeah, last night. Casey took a trip out to a minor baseball league game. Tell us about it, Casey.
You guys can't see me because I got my webcam off for you guys, but that's where I got my hat I'm wearing.
Okay. I briefly seen it when I checked the stream.
Yes. Yeah, So, the past 3 minor league games I've been to, like, I don't know if it's just me being bad luck or if it's just how minor league games work, but they're pure chaos sometimes. Maybe it's because the minor league players, like, if you don't know what baseball is, like, the minor league is sort of like the elementary school to get to the majors. Most of these guys won't even make it to the major leagues, and those of you who do, that's going to be years down the line. So their defense is bad. Not only that, but the fans, I think, because it's a minor league game, they take it more casually, so they don't always pay attention to what's going on. So, like, 3 games ago, which was a couple years ago, I went to a minor league game, and there was a play at the plate, which is, if you don't know, it's the runner's trying to score home, and he's trying to slide to avoid the tag, and the catcher has to tag him. But the throw was really off the mark and away from home plate. So when the catcher caught the ball and the guy was sliding, he had to dive out and extend his arm, and he straight up clocked this guy in the face as he was sliding. It wasn't intentional. He was just trying to put his arm out, and the guy was sliding at the same time, and his face just happened to be there. It was like a clothesline backhand. And the guy, like, snapped backward, like his head snapped back, and he went straight back to the ground, and he kept sliding for another foot, maybe 2, like, on his back, and it was the most violent baseball play, or any sports play I've ever seen. It was a good play, and the guy, he was down for a while, but he ended up getting up, and he seemed fine, just a little dazed. So that was
probably just surprised by the hit.
Yeah.
So you witnessed the rugby moment of baseball.
Yeah, because there's nothing out of the ordinary from his slide. It was just a normal slide, and all of a sudden this guy's face or hand comes across his face and knocks him out. But that was the on the field scenario. And 2 games ago, it was my dad's old job. They had like a work get together sort of deal, and they bought tickets, and so the couple sections we were in were all from his workplace, and there's a big pop up flower where the ball just goes in the air and it kind of goes to the crowd, and the lady who was like just 3 feet behind me, she was not paying attention at all, and the ball landed right on her face, and
God.
It was a thick, sickening thud, man. It was kind of funny, but it just is not at the time. I was like, oh, this doesn't sound good. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I trust. I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to work security at hockey games, the local Rockford Ice Hogs, and I've actually seen stuff like that happen where a puck goes out of play and hits somebody like right in the mouth, and I'm just like, oh my god, like it's so not funny at the moment, but looking back on it, you're just like, dang, you just took a hockey puck to the face.
When you hear it in retrospect, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the Dane Cook joke about when, the tire flying to your face.
Exactly.
I'm not aware of that joke, but it's Dane Cook, so I'm fine with not knowing.
So that was the last 2 games. What happened this time? Who got hit in the face?
Well, there was more than one event this past yesterday's game. So there's been a lot of line drive injuries for fans in baseball recently. So they've been putting up more netting to protect them. Mm-hmm. And like normally the dugout or where the players are on the field, they used to be wide open, but here they have like a wedge of like triangular netting above that. And normally it's supposed to keep the fans safe, but this time it kind of had the opposite effect because when the guy was swinging, like he totally lost the bat. Like it just went flying into the crowd. And it was sort of slow at first like it hit its peak at right above the net, and then it's kind of slowed, so it seemed like, well, this is probably going to hit a fan, but it won't do much damage. But then like the handle clipped the net, and it started like helicoptering and gaining speed as it came down.
Oh god.
And it nailed this girl, like 16,
God.
17 years old, maybe.
Oh no.
Like right in the shoulder, maybe even the head. It was kind of distance.
Oh.
So it was, to her credit, like you could tell like she was right close to crying, but she fought it off, and like the attendants came down and she's like, no, I'm fine. She stayed in her seat. She's a tough girl because it was not a good incident, and she was more or less fine, and she got to keep the bat too, so there's a souvenir. Nice. That was the first one from last night. The second time, it was sort of more or less the same thing that happened the second game. A fan wasn't paying attention. Ball came up, clocked him right in... It looked like right in the nose, maybe. I mean, we thought he was, like, knocked out because, like, he grabbed his face, kind of humped over, and then, like, he wasn't moving for a while. I think it was just because it was... Probably a lot of blood came out, and he was just trying to cover it up. But they had to get a staff medic to come check him out, and he ended up walking off on his own power. He didn't need to be carted off or anything. But as he was leaving, you could see like he had stuff shoved up his nose to stop the bleeding, and so those were the 2 incidents that did happen that were brutal. And there was possibly a lethal moment that they just avoided. So in the last inning of the game, well, it was a tie game, and usually when the home team it's a tie game, they're in the dugout and there's that protective fencing, but they're all like standing above it because they're ready, like in case there's a walk-off hit or home run, they jump off over the fence and pile on the field and celebrate and stuff like that. So they're all on top of the fence above the protective netting, and there's a line drive that, like, it was a bullet speed, like it was a streak of the white light of the ball, like I couldn't even see it, and like as soon as it hit the bat, like you could hear it thud against the wall of the dugout, and I don't know how it missed hitting anybody because they were all on top of there. Like it must have brushed between someone's shoulder or something, but if that made contact with the head, that's like, literally lethal. Like,
Wow.
there have been like minor league coaches who are on the baselines who've actually died by taking a line drive to the head, and that's why they have to wear helmets now.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they're even further than that, where they would have been from the coaches where they are on the field. So that was a big miss there. So it was 2 incidents of injury and 1 incident of near injury. And meanwhile, as this whole game was going on, the people right in front of us, it was the most awkward, tense, public experience of my life. Like, I pretty much witnessed a whole family squabble in the most passive-aggressive way through the entire game.
What?
Like, I'm not going to get into too much detail because I don't want to sound like trashy gossip or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
The father and, like, the 21-year-old, I think she said her age was, daughter, like, they were a few seats apart and with the mom in between and the baby, and she was discussing something with him, and I didn't hear what it was, and he's just like, I don't want to talk about that here. And she kept talking about it. I was like, what part of I don't want to talk about this here don't you understand? And they had talked some more stuff. I tried my best to not eavesdrop on it, but there's literally 2 feet away in front of me.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't help it.
Yeah.
It's, it's right there.
And then it went into extra innings because it was a tie game. And then when the mother left, I don't know what happened. Like, he didn't even say anything, and the daughter just looks at him like, oh, are you mad at me now too, or something like that? And he's just shaking his head and looking away from her. And, like, he doesn't stop shaking his head at all. And again, I'm trying not to focus on this, but this guy's taller than I am by a few inches. So he's right in my field of view. And there was one point where there's this awkward silence, and she tries to break the silence by asking him, is the strike zone in the minor leagues the same as it is in the major leagues? And he doesn't even answer at first. He just looks away and shakes his head, and like 20 seconds later he's like, I think they're the same as the major league. And she's just like, okay, Dad, I played softball, I don't know what that is. And it's like, he answered your question. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
it was, and then because it was late and they had leftover food, they had dollar food concessions, and he brought some back, and he's like, do you have the tote bag? I'm gonna put some of this for later. And she's like, I don't have your tote. It's right next to her, and then she just ended up throwing it at him, kind of, and then as he's putting the food in the tote, she grabs one of the pizzas and starts eating it. He's like, that was for later. And he's like, I don't care. I'm here to enjoy myself. And it was just very tense and awkward. So that was what I went through yesterday.
The moral of the story is, if you're going to a minor league game, probably even a major league game, and you're going to watch, you have to be committed to paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, if you're field level, you have to pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah, because either you're going to get injured or you're going to talk about personal things and ruin it for someone around you.
Really, though, the moral of the story is, watch and check to see if you see Casey in the stands anywhere. If you do, find yourself a sturdy face mask.
Maybe it's not me.
Probably gonna get hit by a ball.
Maybe it's my dad, because I was there with my dad all 3 of those times, and he was talking about back when the minor league was a completely different team, like the Foxes or something like that. He was there with a group of people, and one of the ladies he was with took a foul ball to the face. So maybe it's him, not me.
Maybe. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's it. We solved it.
Yeah, if you ever end up in a baseball game,
you're gonna have to.
Because usually if you don't like baseball or sports, sometimes you end up in a baseball game with friends or whatever. Always pay attention especially if you're on field level. If you're higher up, it doesn't matter that much. And don't
Of course.
reach over railings to catch balls when you're higher up, because people have died doing that too.
Or ruin perfectly good world championship
Yeah, well, that's
games.
just social advice for any social event. Just take that and. So it was baseball story.
Just really, everybody out there, just when you're at somewhere, you're out in public, just keep your common sense.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do is just retain your common sense. Don't do stupid
Well,
things.
it was a baseball game, so there was a little alcohol involved with that guy. I don't know if she was drinking it all.
Yeah, that's fair too. Alcohol has a way of doing things.
Yeah.
Just be safe.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, just be safe. Which,
Baseball.
Yeah. And speaking of which, Solo, I believe you have a pretty fascinating baseball story for us as well while we're on the topic.
Yes, I do. This is what a lot of my friends tell me, that they're actually envious, because I'm not a big fan of baseball. Watching it live, though, is not bad, but I had my very first baseball experience 2 or 3 years ago, back when I worked at Google. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends, Aaron, you guys have actually seen him in chat before. He got these box seats, and these were actually a gift for another that also worked at Google, because they just recently got married. And so it was an exhibition match between the A's and the Giants at the Oakland Stadium. And I was there when he made the call for like ordering extra food for the room and all that stuff. And then he was asking questions because he checked the weather, and it's supposed to rain like quite heavily. So he asked, what happens if it rains out? And they were saying, well, but if it rains out, then he asked, like, basically he was asking what happens to the room, because we paid for the room and the food and everything. And they were saying, well, if it happens to rain out, you guys can actually keep the room for the rest of the day. Just enjoy the food that you bought, etc., etc.
You had box seats.
Yeah, we had box seats. Yeah, exactly. And but then he said, well, the thing is, the game has never been canceled at the Oakland Stadium for the last 17 years.
Wow.
Due to weather. It's like, okay, well, that sounds reassuring. So, day of the game, it's raining heavily. When I'm driving there, it's already raining heavily. It got even heavier when we got there. We say, okay, whatever. We're getting up to our seats, because he was still checking the weather, and this is that it might be going, it might be shifting. So we're going up to the seats, and it's all pretty cool and everything. Then we get this announcement that the game's gonna be delayed for like 45 minutes. Okay, sure, why not? And the food that we ordered is coming. People are bringing the food. I think he had hot dogs and chicken wings, hamburgers, or not hamburgers, but sliders. And then he himself snuck in like a whole bunch of candy. Like he has like a party bag of M&Ms and I forget what else, but he had a lot of candy.
Yeah, I don't even think I know at Miller Park where the Brewers, like, they don't, like, you can bring food in. As long as it's not stuff you can throw at players or whatever, you can bring food in. I don't even know if you need to sneak it in or not.
I'm not sure either, but I know he's been to a lot of baseball games, so he probably knows. And he obviously knows how to sneak them in if he has to. But we didn't get all the food that we ordered. And so we asked, why pay for all this food? And they said, oh, there's a new catering service. They just switched over. This is their first time catering. And so they don't prepare the food, all the foods that were on the previous menu items. So we got screwed out of extra food, basically. Well, not extra food, but we got screwed out of we overpaid for food. And I think it was from Ovation to Aramark, I think, or it might be vice versa. I don't remember.
Whatever.
It might be vice versa. My friend opens the cabinet door while they were getting the food ready, and it comes off. I was like, okay.
Sounds like the Oakland field, yeah.
I mean, it was a nice room. It had like a big TV and had like a lounge and the seats and everything. It was cool, but yeah, the cabinet door comes off. We're like, okay, we got to fix this, but this is weird. And then we get another notice that there's going to be another delay of game for an hour and a half. And my friend Aaron, he was telling me that one of the best things to order from the concession was the Texas toast. So we went over, since it's another delay of game, we went over to order the food, and we're waiting like over half an hour for our food to be ready, because this is new catering. This is the first day, so they don't have everything together for this baseball game. And then we get back about 20 minutes later, game's canceled. 17 years, no cancellation, first cancellation. And then 10 minutes after that, we get someone coming into our room. Hey, sorry, the game's canceled. You got to vacate the room in 15 minutes. It's like 1 right now. And we're like, hold on a minute. We were told we get to keep this whole day, like this room for the rest of the day if the game gets canceled. They're like, oh, well, whoever told you that was wrong. We got to do something, whatever. You got to get out of here. We're like, we still have hella food. We still have a ton of food left here. So what are we supposed to do with this? So I'm just trying to pack as much food as I can with my toast that I only
in a
half
tote
finished.
bag?
No, it was just on the little thing, on the little paper tray. And then my friend goes, "What are you doing? Just take this bag of hot dog buns and stuff all the food in there. All the chicken wings, all the hot dogs, all the hamburger patties or the slider patties." And I'm like, okay. It's like, oh yeah, we can just go. We'll eat them later. We'll just go hang out somewhere or whatever, right? Okay, cool. So I have this huge bag. It's like half of my body. I'm not even kidding. And it's like mostly filled with like sauce and food and stuff. And then my other friends are like, hey, take this sauce too while you're at it. And she stuffs it in my pocket. And I was just like, what's going on here? And so we're leaving, and I'm carrying this huge bag of food. And it's just me carrying this. And they decide that it would be a fun time to draw all the attention towards me. They have this chant that is, it's more Trung, more fun. And so they do the chant while I'm holding this bag of food with the like sauces. And I had 4 pockets. I had one of those like pants with the mid pockets on the like knee.
Yeah.
Like cargo.
And so I had like 2 sauce. Yeah, I have 2 sauce bottles in my pants as well, holding this big bag of food. And they're chanting this thing like this chant 3 or 4 times on the way back down.
It's worth
to
noting
like, the car.
that your real name is Trung and not Solo.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Of
more
course.
Trung, more fun.
Don't really mind anyone doing that. Yeah, more Trung, more fun, exactly. And so I get to the bottom, I'm like, okay, so where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do with all this food? He's like, what are you talking about? You're taking that home. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, we're not. I thought we were gonna go somewhere to like go hang out and eat this. No, it's like, no, you're gonna take that home. We don't have any plans after this, so just like, okay. So that was basically my first baseball experience. No baseball happened, just a whole bunch of weird crap. It's like 17 years, and the game is canceled. New caterer for food that didn't have their act together, and me dragging this whole bag of food down. And in the end, he called back and to see whether we were gonna get some kind of deal, because basically, if I hadn't taken the bag full of food, we would have been pretty much out of food. That's what he pretty much said. He was just like, we didn't actually get the time to eat all our food and all that stuff. And he was able to talk them into giving us box tickets. Box seats for another game.
That's cool.
But it can't be Giants it can't be against the Giants because
That's our
it can't be any of those really big teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got one against the Angels, which actually turned out to be a pretty good game. And he convinced them to. He's like, well, you already have the box seats. If we have more people, you just make more money from concessions. So it was like, yeah, okay. So we ended up. It was, I think, the first game. The initial exhibition match was 8 people, and then when we came back, it was like double that. It's like 16 people. So.
Nice.
Which that also turned out to be a good game.
I gotta be honest, I'm a little disappointed when you said your pockets were stuffed with sauce. I was hoping for a big payoff where you sat on the sauce and then opened your pocket or something.
Hey.
There was not enough Solo suffering in that story for my liking.
Well, you know what? There was no suffering on your end other than like the.
Well, people around
family.
me suffered, so.
But you didn't suffer enough personally. So
I'm sorry.
I lost both
duel out
games,
the
so it was a
swords
doubleheader, So I suffered my team losing. There you go.
All right.
I think Cyrus has something too.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, my life is far from eventful, so I'm just kind of here today. I don't know. I got nothing going on right now. Um, I don't know. I guess we'll move on. Actually, provide some news of the day.
Some
Some
actual
quick
talking
notes.
points.
Yeah, some actual talking points. Now that we're half an hour in already.
First expected, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some quick notes, real quick. Overwatch is getting an update on their loot boxes, and I believe Casey has some more information for us on that.
It's pretty straightforward. They're lowering the percentage on duplicate drops. They're
There
not
you go.
completely doing away with it, but
Yeah. Of course
and
not.
they are to help compensate the credits you get. You will be getting more credits from the duplicates you do earn.
Which is what I wanted. I complained about that a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting them to eventually up the duplicate credits earned. I wasn't expecting them to lower the percentage of duplicates altogether. That's going above and beyond, in my opinion. I would have just expected.
I agree. Because
credit increase.
most games, especially mobile games, because they do it more often at the moment, they don't do that, and that's really annoying. I don't play a lot of Overwatch, but because I don't play a lot of Overwatch, it's in my head. It's like, why am I getting so many duplicates when I don't get that many? There's so many items to get
Yeah.
from loot boxes for Overwatch. You know, over how many characters is it?
It's 24, I think it's at now.
24, and each character has an average of 65 items.
Something, give or take, between
Some have
sprays,
more than that, I
emotes.
think.
Yeah, some have close to 70, if not more than 70,
think-
but I think like Orisa has like 58 or something
I think
like that.
Tracer has 70 legendary skins alone at this point.
Yeah,
And you can't forget
yeah,
the player
that's,
icons,
that's what I
too.
mean though. Yeah, so that's what I mean though. Like 65 average plus player icons and all this, and I don't play that often, but I'm still getting so many duplicates. Like I get so many duplicates of like common and then when I do get, most of the time when I get like legendary, it turns out to be currency. Just this is not fun, guys. But yeah.
And when you think about it, it's actually a good thing on multiple fronts. Because I mean, yeah, like you said, Solo, a lot of people are experiencing a massive problem with getting so many duplicates so often. I mean, you're talking full, like a box full of four come in a box, a full drop of all duplicates. Like that's not what you're supposed to be working for here. And not only that, but the fact that they're increasing the money is going to help as well, because a lot of people save up those credits.
Mm-hmm.
Like Casey saved up to 17,000 some odd credits.
All spent
because
in
you wait
last
for-
season.
Yeah,
Last
you
event.
wait for the special holiday events where they have exclusive items that you can only get during that time.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to get it all to drop, so you got to have that gold. You got to have those credits in order to buy it outright before the event ends.
Yeah, and then during the event, obviously those, like, especially the skins are like 3,000, which is quite a bit. I mean, Casey's saving up 17,000 credits, and he can play through the event and get, half
I had
of the
horrible
legendaries.
drop luck
Yeah.
with that, so that's why I had to spend so much. Normally, I have a lot better luck with the events, drop rates and stuff.
And like, if he was just spending, credits on skins, on the legendary skins, that's 5 skins max that he can get after going how many seasons saving up those credits. So yeah.
Whereas someone like me, I don't get a chance to save up that many credits. I don't play that often, so
Yeah.
every
same here.
event I can buy like one skin. And I still wind up, that's like the only thing I get from the event because I'm too busy getting duplicates the rest of the time.
Filthy Overwatch casuals.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
I work too often. You should know that. I
Yeah,
practically live at work.
I only play so much because I have no life.
Fair enough.
But just a quick side story on that is that people were giving Overwatch such a hassle with the last anniversary and their loot drops, but it just proves that the Overwatch community is completely spoiled, because even with all the problems, they by far have the best microtransaction system. Well, not
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
there are others who are also good, but they're definitely in the top tier. It's
I
like-
agree they have one of the better DLC stuff or
Yeah.
microtransactions.
Hmm.
because all their DLC or updates are free.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to argue with that.
Yeah. So just take what they give you, man. Just
Mhm.
don't give them a hassle. Like, you can criticize constructively, but a
Yeah.
lot of that event was not constructive criticism. It was attacking
It
people.
was just petty.
Yeah,
Blizzard was
exactly.
Petty.
And a lot, you know what? And the sad part is, a lot of those people that are complaining that hard probably don't play often enough to actually get enough loot boxes to get stuff. They just expect stuff to pop from the first 5 loot boxes, and they want 3 legendaries out of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how it works. You gotta actually
Yeah.
play the game to get the stuff.
I mean, as long as it's not a whole bunch of duplicates, it makes sense to me. You know,
or
It's
like
if you
that
don't,
one-
if you're a casual, yeah, like if you're a casual, even if you get like commons and stuff like that, that's fine. As long as it's new stuff, duplicates.
yeah.
You don't get that. You don't play that much, and you get a lot of duplicates. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, it could always be worse. You could be like that one guy that literally opened an empty loot box. Like, literally had nothing in it.
I saw that picture.
That was, that
Wow.
Didn't even have,
I haven't
like,
seen that.
it didn't even have like 4 of the icon things. It only had like 2 icons, and they were just blank spaces. It was just like,
Wow.
what? Alright, so, on another quick note in the gaming world, new thing is happening. Atari's coming out with a new ROM-loaded console. Not exactly big news, but, you know, it's been probably a little while since we've heard from Atari directly. So.
I've never played Atari
I
before.
think, yeah, I played very few games from Atari, but from what I remember, you guys remember when I was doing those custom consoles
Mhm.
back in
Like
2
you were-
years ago,
You were
Christmas.
painting them all over and stuff.
Was that?
You were painting them over
Yeah,
and
yeah.
customizing them and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. During 2015, when I checked, I think they already had 5 or they were already on their 5th or 6th version.
Yeah,
So
I believe it.
I don't know. I can't imagine what version they're on at this point. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, like I said, nothing really groundbreaking. I was a little excited when I heard that Atari was coming out with a new something, and I seen it was that, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Because of-
then they're
Because
just
of the NES
following-
Classic.
Exactly. They're just
Yeah.
following Nintendo's footsteps. Like, oh, hey, we got old games too. We'll do it.
Yeah.
All right.
I've never
Technically,
played.
Nintendo followed their footsteps.
Well, yeah.
Well, it
Give or
figures, you know, Nintendo getting credit for stuff, you know, other people do again.
take. Oh, yeah. Okay.
My,
that
my
was
old
on
bag
me.
with Nintendo.
that was on me. I want to fuel the fire here. We're gonna have another Bethesda moment with Casey. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Oh, I haven't even gotten to my whole Bethesda thing yet. That's for another time.
Yeah.
We'll make Bethesda Rage, the Casey Jones episode.
Yeah, so I've never played Atari, but I do actually have an Atari game somewhere. It's E.T.
Nice.
Wow.
I saw it at a rummage sale once, and I was like, "Hey, that's the video game that almost crippled video game industry altogether. I'll buy that for $1."
It's a non-cemented copy.
Yeah,
Non-buried, non-cemented.
yeah.
All you need is a copy of Shaq Fu and Superman 64, and you'll have the holy trifecta.
Shaq Fu. I don't know if Shaq Fu is on that on that level.
I don't know. I've heard some pretty nightmarish things about it, but I haven't actually played it personally. So I never played Superman 64 or ET either. I just hear the horror.
I've actually played Shaq Fu, but back when I was a kid, I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I like playing old crappy games as a kid. You don't realize they're bad. Like I rented Batman Forever on the Genesis a lot. And I liked it. I never got very far, and I was like, boy, I'm just bad at this game. I like it, but I'm just bad at this game. But then years later, I realized that I just had control issues. Like, it wasn't me. It was the game.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
10-year-old me is
remember that
redeemed.
too. Man, I remember so many classic games. Although I didn't get to rent them, we didn't really have the money. We just had to borrow games and consoles. But yeah, I just remember Battletoads. I don't think that was a bad game. That was just stupid hard.
No.
So were the old like Ninja Turtle games, like one of the very like
The first
one
one,
of the very
the
first
NES.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one.
The
I
game
could
was,
never
like,
beat that one.
ridiculous hard, man. And then you get to like the second one, and you're like, okay, Let me go
Yeah,
back and
because-
play the first one and find out what I did wrong. It's just that hard.
But the first one doesn't play anything like the second or third one.
Oh,
Second
true.
and third ones are like a beat 'em up. The first one's platformer ish,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually pretty cool. It was just really hard.
Yeah.
The water level is what everyone talks about, but even after you get past that, there's still so much more. The farthest I ever got was the rooftops, where you had to throw down ropes and cross the roofs. But yeah, that's it.
I don't even know if I made it that far. It sounds familiar, but I might have done it once. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I only made it that far once. I remember that much. Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on about 40 minutes now. Do you guys want to move on to the next topic, or do you want to just kind of...
No, keep going.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so next on the docket, Daniel Day-Lewis retires. I personally didn't know anything about that. I am not up to any of the news, so I'll go ahead and throw it to you guys.
Well, do you know him, Solo? You don't watch much movies.
I don't watch much movies. I am vaguely familiar with them because one of my friends recently talked to me about it, how it was one of her favorite actors.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he retired, just that he was one of her favorite actors.
Yeah, he's one of the most well-respected actors I think there is. And what's fascinating about it is that not only critically is he well-known, but he has a good fan base, but he has a very small list of movies he's actually been in. Like, he's only have like 2 movies in the past 10 years or something like that. He goes like decades of only having 1 or 2 movies. Yet he's built up this massive reputation that, like, let's say Meryl Streep has, but she's been in all kinds of movies, or Tom Hanks, or people like that. So that's pretty fascinating. Like I still have not seen Lincoln. That's maybe his most notable role now. It's still one of those movies I just always want to see, but just haven't gotten around to seeing it for whatever reason. He was in There Will Be Blood, which is one of my favorite movies. I've abandoned my boy. That's one of my favorite scenes. And he was the only good lead role or lead actor in Gangs of New York. That was a good movie, but it was really bogged down by Cameron Diaz and Leonardo DiCaprio. He carried that movie. Leo and his freaking awful accents. It's
Yeah.
as well respected as he is as an actor, he's got like the worst accents of any actor on his caliber.
Are his accents worse than Christian Bale's Batman voice?
Yes. I mean, I could at least give a plausible reason to the Batman voice, because he's just trying to mask his own voice, so if it sounds awful, I don't think he really cares that much. He's just trying to mask it and sound gravelly. And
Fair enough.
whereas Leonardo DiCaprio is playing, like, he's supposed to be of this region that he's portraying, and it's just awful. Like Blood Diamond, where he's not South African, but I don't remember where he's from, but it's like he's doing 4 different accents, and none of them are. I don't know what that is. And he's tried to do a Boston accent in a movie that wasn't very good. Although I think he was in The Departed, and he probably had an accent. I think he did all right there. I can't remember The Departed that much. And what was the other? Oh, Gangs of New York.
I think his accent was okay in The Great Gatsby.
Oh, I never saw that one.
I think I can't put my finger on what exactly accent he had. I want to say maybe more of a. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what kind of accent it was. Maybe. See, something. Yeah. Sounds about right. Something more southern, yeah.
Was The Aviator. I haven't seen that movie. I just seen scenes, but I heard he's also pretty bad with his accent in that one.
I don't even remember that movie hardly. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I think the last movie I can remember with Leonardo DiCaprio is Romeo and Juliet.
I like that movie.
I never saw
It
that one.
wasn't bad. Yeah.
I
That's
thought it
what I
was not a bad modernized adaptation of the play.
Yeah,
that's what I saw with The
yeah.
Revenant, where he
The
finally got it.
document-
He finally got his reward, the
Oh,
Oscar.
yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, even though I still think Tom Hardy outacted him in that movie.
Tom Hardy's not a fantastic one.
Yeah. Although I think even though DiCaprio didn't act as well as Hardy, he still did well on his own right. I think what
Yeah.
got him was his overall performance. Like, there's a scene, spoilers, where he has to eat was it like a elk's stomach raw or something right out of the elk, and he actually did that in real life. He actually ate a raw stomach from an animal or something like that for the movie.
Gross.
Wow. Sometimes, man, actors do like the craziest things to make sure they're in their element when
Yeah.
they're filming.
Was that
Oh, yeah.
Christian Bale? He got so skinny for a role. I think he had to be hospitalized. He was literally skin and bones. There's no muscle mass on him whatsoever. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
how you could do that to yourself.
One of the extremes would also be Heath Ledger, right?
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
pretty much died
I mean,
playing
even-
the Joker.
Yeah, even Jared
Yeah.
Leto did some really crazy things while doing the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, didn't he mail like dead rats or something to his co-stars?
Yeah, so he did that. I think it was like the first day of filming or something like that. He had a dead pig or something delivered to the set. It was supposed to be like for like a pig roast or something. He just did like the weirdest things.
Yeah, I remember an interview with Will Smith, and he was like talking about a casting party that he was going to throw for everybody in Suicide Squad, and he specifically named Jared Leto's not invited. I don't like that guy. Like, he just blatantly said, I don't care for this guy. He's a weird dude. I don't like him. He's not invited.
Yeah, because he did some really messed up stuff to them. Like
No.
he just mailed them some weird stuff in general. It was, I don't know. I can't think of any more offhand. I want to say like I think he sent Will Smith like a box of bullets because he was Deadshot, and I'm just okay, that's dangerous for one.
Yeah.
Something else happened too, something like really gross, and like I want to say potentially sexual oriented. I don't remember what it was, but I don't know. He sent some people some weird stuff.
Nice censorship there, by the way.
Almost
Good job.
lost.
Good job. Good job. Almost made a mistake, didn't?
Mistakes were corrected. New tagline. All right. Let's see.
So from the actor
Well,
thing,
Before that, I actually want to just also mention I don't know a lot of actors, but one that I do remember from a lot of different things is Adam West, who passed away.
Yeah.
So, I watched the original Batmans when I was a kid, back when we were making ink for pens or something. I don't remember what the heck we were doing. That was so weird. And what else? Obviously, Family Guy. He's always funny in Family Guy.
he's pretty
Mhm.
funny.
All his cameos, his cameo in Scooby Doo. He has a cameo in one of my favorite TV shows, News Radio. he's always like, you can tell he just takes it whatever and he's like, yeah, I'll roll with it.
That guy is awesome.
Yeah. Interesting tidbit that there was actually a Batman before Adam West.
Yeah, I heard
Oh, yeah.
about that, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
It was like the black and white serial days. Like, I think it probably played like maybe before major motion pictures. Like, they always had those serial either cartoons or crazy sci-fi adventures, and like the website Go To Rift Tracks from the old makers of Mystery Science Theater. They have like all of those Rift, I think, all those old Batmans, and I've seen a couple of them, and like his Batmobile is pretty much just a car, like it's with no top, and this is weird.
I remember actually when we were going to E3, my friend put on a video. Actually, when we were going home from E3, I think he had put on a video of Adam West. It was just like this kind of goofy skit that was also like meant to seem like real life, where he was selling his stuff from his Batman like days in a garage sale type thing, and he was overselling everything. And they're like, He's like, it was like I forget what some of the items were, but he'll like it's like Batman socks or something like. And he's like, how much is this? It's like I think he said something like $200 or something. It's like why? It's a like really old sock. It's like, well, that was the sock worn by Batman, and it was just funny. Yeah. I have to wonder. I actually don't know because you guys know more about this than I would. Has Adam West ever acted with William Shatner? I feel like that would be an interesting combo. Or it would have been.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
That would have been an interesting combo, I would think. But yeah.
An interesting conversation would have been like Adam West, William Shatner, oh my god, the names just flew right out of my head that fast. Gary Busey and Christopher Walken. That would be like my dream conversation.
I think Christopher Walken would be the most normal person there, which is scary.
That is actually kind of scary. Right. Okay. Do you guys want to keep moving on?
Yeah.
Sure.
The last topic?
Sure.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, so next on the topic, next on the docket, the final thing we got to note on today, a lot of big news going around about Capcom recently, and a few issues that people have with them. So why don't you go ahead and get us started off with
Well, one of the I'm gonna go with from the more like light topics to the more heavy ones, I guess, because I think we have like 3 different things for Capcom just this past week. First of all was the Marvel's Capcom models, which look not great. It looks they hired, it looks like they hired some people from BioWare that worked on Mass Effect Andromeda and had to make the models for Marvel's Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know how bad the models in Mass Effect Andromeda were, it looks like they pretty much took a team of graphic designers out of like maybe high school at best to design these faces.
Yeah. I think most people have seen a meme or two of Mass Effect Andromeda faces by now.
Oh, I'm sure, but just in case, I want to make sure. So, the character models weren't all that great. I personally seen the comparison to Dante, which
it
looked like Dante from the newest DMC game did a really, really, really bad cosplay of Dante from Devil May Cry 3. I don't know.
Maybe that's what they're going for.
That's actually a good description. That's actually a good description.
Maybe it was what they're going for. I don't know. And I think the other picture I seen was a picture of Chun-Li with missing half her eyebrows.
Well,
something like that. I think that was actually a design choice.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. I don't know. But
I think they're trying to go for like a translucent effect, and it just didn't turn out like I think they were hoping it was going to turn out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then from the models, they also were commenting on the lower roster, the smaller roster. Of I don't know if they revealed everything from Infinite's roster yet, but based on what they reviewed, there's a lot of missing X-Men characters.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of missing Marvel characters in general. Like.
Yeah. Oh, actually took an extensive look at the roster myself, but they actually made a statement regarding the X-Men, the lack of X-Men roster. They had mentioned by Magneto was one of the specific topics that most people chose Magneto in MVC3 mainly for function. That is his triple jump or something like that, or maybe they was using that as an example. So they're saying, well, if you need that function, you can use these other characters now. And then they were commenting that, well, most people don't even remember X-Men characters
it's like
at this moment.
Modern day Marvel fans, I think they said.
Yeah. And they were saying, everyone was more focused on obviously the more recent Marvel series like Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot. But I mean, by example, Wolverine has been there since the very first Marvel vs. Capcom game. That was back in X-Men versus Street Fighter, or X-Men versus Capcom, or something like that. Yeah. So I think that was like a huge disappointment, and it had like a pretty big outroar from fans. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, how can you at least not include Wolverine and who was some of the other characters they mentioned? Wolverine and
Magneto, maybe Phoenix.
Magneto. There was one other one. I don't remember, but
yeah, like Magneto is arguably Marvel's top villain, other than maybe Doctor Doom. He's like between 1 and 2, between those two. So to say they don't care, it's like saying DC doesn't care about Joker just because the Jared Leto version sucks so much.
Yeah. And you know, I'll be the first to admit that. Well, I shouldn't say admit, but really, I mean, they're kind of making a conscious choice to keep up with the new and up and coming audience. They're trying to stay up to date with what's recent in terms of Marvel by what's already out there in the media. So, like you said, we have Guardians of the Galaxy, and obviously we got all the Avengers movies, stuff like that. So we're gonna see Spider-Man, probably Iron Man, stuff like that. And yeah, for the most part, we haven't seen any X-Men movies. We've had the Wolverine movies, which Logan was.
Logan, yeah.
Yeah, Logan wasn't even that far ago. But as far as the rest of the X-Men go, yeah,
But you also gotta think about the fact that it shouldn't just cater to the recent fans. You do gotta build this. What makes Marvel vs. Capcom so big was the people that played it all this time, and the people that played it all this time used the characters from the previous X-Men or Marvel vs. Capcom installments. So to see the characters that they, previously used no longer there, especially when they were like, more popular characters like Dark Phoenix was a really popular one to use because of her or it was Phoenix going to Dark Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix going to Dark Phoenix. But that was like a huge character that they used until other people found out how to counter her. But she was really popular for a long time because of her Dark Phoenix mode. And I mean, Magneto, was a big one too. And they're saying, Magneto, the function is there to this new characters, but he was a really popular use to just drop him to keep up with the modern, Marvel fans. But basically saying, well, even though you guys played these games and made it this popular, oh well, he's gone because you can use someone else. That kind of sucks. That's a terrible decision, in my opinion.
There's definitely some fault to be had with the way he worded that statement, but I'm not sure if it's entirely on Capcom for this thing, because Marvel, since Disney's gotten it, they have a sort of a track record of trying to distance themselves from Marvel properties that they don't have the movie rights for. Like, there was the Spider-Man cartoon, and there's another something that it was popular, the ratings were doing okay, but they got canceled because Marvel didn't want to create confusion, thinking that this character that we have no control over is tied to our product in the movie cinematic universe. So they got rid of that Spider-Man stuff. This is back before they regained some of those Spider-Man rights. So I'm thinking there's a chance that this could be Marvel doing that again, which is why they're distancing themselves from the X-Men and maybe Fantastic
I personally
Four
think that I think that if they had worded it and stated that it was story related, they probably would have had a better reception. Although previous people would just be like, well, story is not that big of a deal because we didn't have a story from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, I don't think that would have applied by saying it was story purposes. I think there still would have been the outrage. Does like Iron Man and stuff like that, are they in there? Because I know Captain Marvel she's like probably
the new one.
Yeah, she's
new.
Well, I will say that it would have still caused a backlash, but I don't think it would have been as much as saying no one remembers X-Men characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Which coming from a fan perspective, that's kind of a low blow. That's just saying like, well, you've been a fan of the series, you've been a fan of Marvel for however many years. Oh well, you don't matter because we're only catering to people who are Marvel fans this year.
Yeah.
Well, and that happens. It happens so often with games a lot these days. Is spend so much time trying to keep up with what's popular now that they forget that they already have a fan base that they also have to take care of.
Yeah, like DC's Injustice 2, which is an amazing game and everything. They split it pretty well. They catered to the hardcore, like Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, and Flash, but they also incorporated the fresh characters that have been in the new Arrowverse TV shows and some like Suicide Squad movies, like Firestorm and Captain Cold, and it's these more obscure characters that the shows have made more popular. They incorporated, like, maybe a little too much in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. But I think it was overall a really good balance they struck between new and old. The stark contrast to what Marvel has, or Capcom Marvel did.
Yeah, and see, like you said, that's the important part, is to have a blend. Yeah, you remember that you already have fans, but yeah, of course you have to try and capture new people.
Yeah. They shouldn't add Mortal Kombat characters. That's bullcrap.
I was just gonna mention that. I was like, yeah, that's a good blend. Two Mortal Kombat characters.
Don't they have Spawn? Did I see Spawn coming too?
It's been a rumor for a long time, ever since Mortal Kombat.
But he's like a comic book character, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, man, when was the last time we heard of anything about Spawn?
I never liked Spawn myself.
Oh, I used to love Spawn.
I like Spawn. I didn't really like the villain, the clown.
The what? Drew got robotic there for me.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it.
You're breaking up really bad.
And there goes his camera.
Yeah, we lost him.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, no,
there he is.
Say something once.
Oh.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that I think I have like 2 issues of Spawn lying around somewhere with my first issue of Daredevil somewhere. I know I saw it not too long ago, but so I know I still have it. I just don't know where it is right now.
Oh.
But I've been wanting Spawn since Mortal Kombat X because Predator was also in there. So,
yeah.
I also like Predator. Yeah.
Wasn't Jason Voorhees in there too, or something like that?
Jason Voorhees was in there, yes, because Freddy Krueger was in Mortal Kombat 9, I think. Yeah. And some other characters I don't know.
I'll say there was one other special guest star character they had. I can't remember what it was. They had Jason, Predator, and something else.
Akuma.
Character? No. There's a character that started with T, I think. I didn't know. Tremor? Was that? I don't think he was from something else, though. I think he was a Mortal Kombat character.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't remember. I lost track of Mortal Kombat.
But, anyways, moving on, the last thing, which I think is probably the worst in terms of Capcom decisions, they said that for the Resident Evil 2 remake, they are not going to be using the original voices for Leon and Claire in favor of non-union voice actors,
Right.
which is kind of a bummer.
That's because the strike's going on, right?
Yeah, because the strike's going on, but that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
that sucks pretty badly. I think that's a terrible decision by Capcom. That's kind of following in the footsteps of Konami with the whole Silent Hill debacle, but almost worse-ish.
Yeah.
Now,
I think.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was trying to say something quick. Like they had an interview with the voice actress who played Aloy in
Ashley
Horizon.
Burch.
Yeah, and she was talking about the strike, and she said there were like, I think, 20-some companies that they are not working for. Square Enix being one of them, which is why she's not playing Chloe in Life is Strange.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think like Naughty Dog, they all settled. Like there are a lot of other companies that have like agreed to the terms and with their voice actors, which is nice to see. Because like as opposed to the Screen Actor or Screenwriter Guild strike from years ago, where it shut down the whole industry of movies and TVs, it's nice to see that video games, there are companies that can individually like to say, okay, we'll agree to this. Those other guys might not, but we'll work with you.
Yeah.
Now is the voice actors for Leon and Claire, are those the same like back in Resident Evil 2? Those same voice actors that have been all the way up until
Yes.
Resident Evil 6.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Like
that's
Matt Mercer, I think was Leon. I forget the
Yeah.
name of the one who
McCree.
played Claire. Yeah. But yeah, and based on how Capcom worded it, it was more of a money choice, financial choice, and I can kind of understand. I guess a lot of, well, I don't know about Resident Evil 7, but a lot of the games that they had released before Resident Evil 7, they said weren't hitting their goal of sales, but I think they still sold well. Like, what was it, Resident Evil 6 or Resident Evil 5? I think it was 6. That sold like 2 million copies. And they're like, oh, that wasn't what we wanted. We wanted more. It's 2 million copies, though.
It might have been 6. Also, I don't know. They had a few projects that flopped real hard around the same time with the Operation Raccoon City, especially did not go very well at all.
And then also Umbrella Corps, which also was released close to Resident Evil 7, which also didn't do well at all. But
Yeah.
it had some interesting hints. I don't think I want to spoil it. I don't know if you even know about it, but
Probably not.
yeah, there's some interesting hints. But I mean, the whole game for that isn't worth it.
Hints towards what exactly?
Plot hints for a returning character.
Oh, okay.
I think I may have said too much already.
I mean,
No,
there's been
probably
enough
not. I mean,
characters
there's a
who've
lot of
died.
characters.
Yeah.
What was that?
There's been enough characters who died in Resident Evil.
Came back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not even just necessarily died, but just that we haven't seen in a while, or that haven't been in the game since like 2 games ago, or even just talking
Okay.
about in the terms of 7, where it didn't have any of the original characters to say. I mean, any one of them could come back.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe me saying that that the whole game where it might have been a different hint too, but I shouldn't get any more into it.
It's Hunk, isn't it? Hunk's coming back,
Oh man, Hunk, dude, that's hardcore right there.
and Tofu.
And Hunk, didn't he was, oh no, he came back for Operation Raccoon City, right? Technically came back, but I think it's technically a parallel story to Resident Evil 2 anyway, so he didn't really come back.
And they kind of unofficially added Hunk in Resident Evil 6. Like they didn't say it was Hunk. It was just an Umbrella operative to play as the co-op player in Ada's storyline. Spoilers? Nah, the game's old enough. But yeah, it was just a random Umbrella operative, but they might as well have just called it Hunk.
Yeah.
He's always there. He's not going anywhere. Or she. We don't even know. We don't even know.
It's true. Well,
2017. How dare I? assume there.
I mean, I would say based on the motto, it's most likely he, but then you look at Zarya, I'm like, okay, maybe not.
Right? Fair enough. Who knows?
But yeah, I don't know if you guys had any more comments, but that was about it.
I don't know. As far as the Capcom, I couldn't see. I mean, I could see because I know how it is when it comes with when you put money and financial issues into play. But it would just suck seeing something like that, especially like Leon and Claire, same voice actors for some probably going on 15 some odd years now since 2. I mean, to change it up now, and it's not even like that we haven't seen them that recently that we forgot what they sound like. I mean, there was just Resident Evil 6. They got a new CG movie that's dropping I don't know, just in a couple weeks, I want to say. I think it's like July 8th or something like that. The next movie.
Is that Vendetta, or did Vendetta already release? I think Vendetta.
No, it's Vendetta.
Oh, okay.
So either it's already out recently or it's coming out soon. But I mean, again, it's got Leon, it's got Chris, it's got whoever else. But right there, Leon, we're gonna hear his voice, and then the next Resident Evil that comes out, it's gonna be a different guy.
Yeah, I mean, the upside is that they're giving a chance to new voice actors or actresses,
Scabs.
but at the same time, what's that?
Scabs.
Yes, but at the same time, these people have been voicing these characters for so long that it's kind of always like when you change the voice, it almost changes the character.
It's like
Exactly.
Persona 4 Golden when they switched Chie and Teddy. It just wasn't the same
Oh
for me.
man, yeah, that was a big deal. That was such a big deal for the Persona community. Yeah.
Hell, I still remember the uprising when they changed the voice of Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, I was
and
just
it
gonna
wasn't.
mention that.
Yeah. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, why?"
But then there was like a whole bunch of controversy about why, which, yeah.
Yeah. Again, we don't want to go into spoilers or anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a reason, sometimes it's just greed, sometimes it's just stuff.
Circumstances sometimes too.
Yeah.
I think with the voice actors strike is like I'm not gonna pretend to know the whole union versus companies thing, but the impression that I sort of get is that companies are still thinking back to the PS2 ages for voice actors where it's like a nice commodity to have for your game, but like they don't really view them as the stars anymore like they should be, like when you see like what Naughty Dog can do with their voice actors, or Horizon, or even Injustice 2 recently, like the work that like they're actually acting now, and they're
Yeah, it's definitely cinema quality content.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
And I mean, just me personally, I'm sitting here all day. I've been playing Final Fantasy X, and the whole time I'm just thinking, "Wow, this voice acting is terrible."
Except for the laughing scene, right? That was like the best.
Oh no, we don't. No, I can still hear it in my mind.
Did you even like go to sleep with that 10-hour video of Titus laughing yet?
Heck no. No.
You should. I'm telling you, you'll get so many viewers if you were to like stream 10 hours of Titus laughing while playing Final Fantasy X. So many views.
Me and Casey already did a couple of 10-hour challenges, and
ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that, and that was still playing in my head like an hour after it was over.
Yeah, that got
I can still hear
psychological there.
I was dying a little bit on the inside. Alright. Well, that's the last of our topics for today. You guys got any last things you'd like to throw out there before we go ahead and sign off for the night?
Just further on Capcom, they it's kind of disappointing because Japanese game companies have had an awful decade, really, trying to compete with their mobile marketing and all that stuff. And it seems like the past year or couple years that some of the companies were starting to gather themselves again, like Square Enix is rebounding nicely, and I thought Capcom was for a while, but they're kind of making questionable mistakes. Konami's just...
Yeah, Konami is just
Konami.
the worst. Just the worst. That's going to be a different
I was
topic.
like, we don't even want to get started on that right now, because that's like a whole episode in itself.
And the thing about that is that Capcom's like voice acting thing is almost on par with this whole voice acting thing that happened with Konami, which we can talk about another time.
Yeah. Coming up next time. Alright.
But,
so I was just saying, it's disappointing to see Capcom takes a few steps back after it looked like they're starting to take some steps forward. But
yeah, Capcom's a real roller coaster ride lately.
Yeah. Hey, maybe Monster Hunter Worlds will be good.
Yeah.
We can definitely keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
They're like Ubisoft, right? Yeah. Things look good, and then we don't know.
Then they get in their own way when they have something good going.
Yeah.
But more importantly, a new Just Dance is coming out.
Yes.
Yeah,
and it has foreign music, apparently.
Yes.
And it's good for Just Dance. Those Just Cause fans who would take breaks from blowing up gas stations to
dancing to dancing to Lollipop.
Yeah. Sometimes you just get the disco fever, man. Just gotta dance it out. Alright, guys. Any other closing remarks, Casey?
No.
Alright, how about you, Sol? Anything else? Anything last to say? You got nothing?
Nothing.
Alright, guys. Well, this has been episode 3 of Made a Mistake. Casey, want to say goodnight to the people?
Good night. Have a good rest of your mornings, afternoons, nights, wherever you're watching.
Well said. Solo?
Well, just thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.
All right, and Cyrus, I just want to say thank you all for watching. Also, be sure to check us out wherever you're seeing us. We are on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at the moment.
Our information will be down below in the description, channel description, or video description rather.
Absolutely. So be sure to check us out everywhere, follow us everywhere, and come back for more.